Hello, welcome to episode 33 of Your Nurse Advocate or Conversations with Your Nurse. I'm going to be sharing over on our Facebook page as well as with our Cabin Creek page. And so tonight, something a little different. I've been recently talking about choosing Medicare Advantage plans. Open enrollment starts October 15th. It goes through December 7th. So if you're looking to first timers choosing a Medicare, or if you're wanting to change from, say, a Medicare Advantage plan or go from Medicare to an Advantage plan or back to straight Medicare, you have to do it at this only time, one time a year, and that's between October 15th and December 7th. So I've got our blog post out. I've posted that all over. You have access to all that. But tonight I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to take some of my expertise and kind of give you some insider tips. What goes on behind the scenes that maybe would be beneficial information for you to know. So one of the things that struck this chord with me is I had a nurse friend of mine who sent me the statistics showing how much money that the top insurance companies are making. And so the big three making the big money was United Healthcare, Humana, and Cigna. Blue Cross Blue Shield is up there. And so, they're making all these profits. And in speaking with someone else in the healthcare field, also we're discussing the fact that a couple of these that are listed in, the top 5 there were cited for not spending enough money on their insurers that they should. So that does get watched with. I'm very happy about that. But I still work part-time at the hospital, and I work in a position called utilization review and case management. So I deal with insurance companies all the time. So I'm going to give you some things to ask, some things that they're not going to expect you to ask, questions that they probably don't hear very often, but I think is very important when you're looking at choosing a Medicare Advantage plan. So Medicare covers certain benefits. You'll see all these commercials on TV. Oh, we'll give you this, or we'll give you that. We'll give you home health care access to, home health care is a benefit that's covered under Medicare. They're not giving you anything special there. That's something Medicare is already giving you. There is some insurance companies, as of the first of the year, we have not come up against it, although they're advertising it. So maybe in some parts of the country, it's already rolled out, where some of the insurance companies are providing some personal cares or, aid services where normal home health care that Medicare pays for at 100% under Part A, they don't pay for custodial care. They don't pay for just bathing services. So some of the insurance companies are starting to offer that. One of the things that I deal with all the time is I deal with denials. I deal with insurance companies saying, no, we're not going to pay for this, or no, we're not going to pay for that. I have a story that I want to share that is I know this person very well. She has one of those Medicare Advantage plans in the top 3, and she has rheumatoid arthritis. She has some compressing going on in her back that is pressing on some nerves. She can't stand very well. She can't walk. She has a scooter that she uses to go out to the mailbox, and she's had 2 orthopedic surgeons. She had a first opinion and a second opinion as far as what surgery might be beneficial for her. She submitted it to the insurance company. The insurance company denied it. They said it's not a Medicare approved procedure, and they're not going to pay for it. So with some help from the company who supplies the discs that were going to be put in her to lift the pressure off her nerves. It's an outpatient procedure. They said that this particular company had been denying this routinely, and they've had to take them to court. And the court was finding that they were liable. This was actually a procedure that was Medicare approved back in 2016, and now we're in 2021. And so they asked this person if they wanted to go through that process, and they said yes. So the court process started. The insurance company was ordered by the court to authorize the procedure and allow the patient to have the surgery. Well, the surgery was scheduled. The surgery was canceled again. And why? Because the insurance company still has not authorized it, even though they were directed by the courts to do so. Make a long story short, they decided they were going to appeal that decision. So now months have gone by. And so the moral of the story here, and we deal with this all the time. You know, the commercials that come on, they say they'll promise this, they'll give you that. You know what? Ask them how many procedures their insurance company has denied in the last year. How many inpatient stays in a hospital have they denied in the past year? How many other types of equipment or other services that they've denied to their insurers in the last year? Ask them. I'm sure they're going to be very surprised when you ask them that question. But I think it's a very valid question, because that's the questions that I'm going to answer. My husband is going on Medicare. We have actually chosen a Medicare Advantage Plan. I said I was never going to do that, but there is a bright light. There are some good Medicare Advantage plans out there. I can tell you that we work with some that we have never received any denials for. They even offer patients in the hospital, they go home for 10 days. They will pay for meals to be delivered while they're recuperating. So there are good companies out there. This is not the kind of video that I want to put out there saying that, you know, all insurances are bad. I don't want to say that, because there are some good ones out there. But what I do want to say is you've got to weed through the fluff. You've got to weed through the commercials and all the hype and everybody telling you all the good things, and you got to weed through the junk. And so how does a Medicare Advantage Plan make their money? I'll tell you. So Medicare, when you are a Medicare patient and are getting Social Security, when you turn 65, maybe you've been getting Social Security since you were 62 and a half, which is, you know, the minimum age that you can start collecting Social Security. You can't get Medicare until you turn 65. So when you turn 65, you get your Medicare card. You know, if you've been on Social Security, you already get your Medicare card mailed to you. You don't have to do anything to get it. They automatically send it to you. You do have to apply if you're not collecting Social Security. So we have all that in the blog post. We have all that for you laid out. So I'm not going to go into those details here. But so what happens is you get Medicare. Medicare right now is deducting, I think, $148.50 is what's going to be taken out of your Social Security check to pay for your Medicare Part B, your outpatient. So if you only have Medicare, then that will only pay for, you know, inpatient hospitalization. If you go to the doctor's office or, you know, the emergency, you know, or outpatient, something that's not going to get paid for if you don't have Part B. So you really do need Part B. Discuss with your advisor, you know, with your particular situation. I'm not an insurance advisor. I cannot give you advice. My goal here is to educate you on what questions to ask, and maybe give you some other questions you can ask to kind of get down to the nitty-gritty to help you choose the right plan for you. So when you have a Medicare Advantage Plan, Medicare gives the Medicare Advantage Plan. So Medicare gives the insurance company your $148.50 per month from Medicare. So that's where they start. That's the premium. That's what pays for those Medicare Advantage plans. And then they have their own tier of money that you would pay on a monthly basis above and beyond that, depending on the services and the benefits that you want. So they're getting your $148.50 from Medicare. Maybe they charge you $45 a month for your plan. So you're actually paying, a couple $100 or more for your coverage. So that's where they get the money. So how they become profitable, and all we hear from Medicare is, oh, Medicare's going broke, Medicare's going broke, Medicare's going broke. And, they're supposedly the insurance companies are dealing with the same amount of money that Medicare is dealing with it, but they're managing it better. So, but yet they're making all this money. And so it makes you wonder, what are they cutting? What are they not doing in order to hang on to some of that money and turn a profit? So that's what I want you to be careful about. I want you to make sure that you're getting your money's worth from your Medicare Advantage plan or your secondary insurance if you choose to stay with straight Medicare. And again, those denials, I mean, what are they not paying out that maybe another insurance company is usually paying out, and that's how they're hanging on to some of their money. I learned, born and raised in Chicago, went to nursing school in Chicago, trained in some very big hospitals in the city, worked in Racine, Milwaukee, been in some, big hospitals there, moved to this area, worked in a very small critical access hospital. And one of the things I learned very quickly is bigger is not always better. And that's the message I want to tell you tonight, is when you're looking at your Medicare Advantage plans, secondary insurance, do your homework, because bigger is not always better. And so with that being said, a couple things I'll mention. Again, that's in our previous video that I've shared with the blog post, and you can find that on our Facebook page, Your Nurse Advocate, or you can find that on our Instagram page, Your RN Advocate, or Pam Dunwald, at Pam Dunwald on Instagram. You can find all those there, and our blog post, we go into a lot of detail. We have a video there where we discuss it. But the other thing I will mention tonight is when you're thinking about choosing a Medicare or a Medicare Advantage, a couple of things you want to consider. Number one is your budget. Are you on a fixed income? Are you by yourself? You don't have, you're relying on one income, and maybe that's Social Security. Because to have a Medicare plan, straight Medicare, in order to not have a lot of bills, it's really important to have a secondary plan. And if you can afford that, that's a great way to go. But by having a Medicare plan and a secondary plan versus having a Medicare Advantage plan could be $100, $150, $200 a month difference. So you have to consider your budget. The second thing you need to consider is, what's your lifestyle like? Are you say a snowbird? Do you live, in the Midwest or North 6 months of the year? Do you live in the South 6 months of the year? A lot of times Advantage plans, they won't cover you in two locations. Some will. So that's a great question to ask. I've ran into problems with people that can't get their medications filled when they go from, to Arizona, because their primary doctor is in Wisconsin, and they have to load up on their medicines before they go because they can't get them filled, and they can't have a doctor in both places. So these are questions to ask. Travel. Do you like to do international travel? If you like that, then some of these insurance companies or Medicare Advantage plans won't cover you, if you're traveling to a foreign country. Some will. So I really encourage you to check it out. I really encourage you, please do your homework, and please ask them. Show me the data of how many procedures, hospitalizations, how many things have you denied in the past year? And I tell you, we appeal all the denials that we can. Our providers get on the phone with their medical directors, argue the case. This has been a tough year. We're not winning many. So I just encourage you to please be careful when you're choosing your Medicare and Medicare Advantage plan. So with that being said, we're going to cut this short tonight. Just something from my heart I wanted to share, something that's been frustrating me, and trying to advocate for people, advocate for patients, advocate for people that I'm my clients. people that we're trying to help. So that's my message that I want to hit home tonight. So reach out if you have any specific questions. Feel free to contact us. But this is the most detail that I'm willing to go through, obviously on a live video. So with that being said, have a great night. Again, reach out with questions regarding choosing your plan, and we will talk soon. Have a great night. Bye.